1, 2, is this working? Does this camera work here? Hello and welcome to this, my garage, my shop, my new shop. So today, if you notice here, I've got my '07 white Honda FIT Sport. It is completely stock. The only thing I've done to it is throw on some black Rhoda slips. When I got it, it was very dirty. The headlights were shot, so re-cleared the headlights, put on these Rhoda slips, and just mostly cleaned it up. So the car is in pretty good shape. It's not perfect. At one time, had a little bit of a fender bender in the front here. The motor mounts are completely shot, as well as there is a noise from the, I believe, the input shaft bearing in the transmission. So it's like, makes a rattling sound as you accelerate in first, second gear, all the gears. First, it sounds like a throwout bearing, but I'm pretty sure it's the input shaft bearing. So since the transmission has to come out anyway, figured might as well just throw in some new motor mounts, cheap, and keep this thing fun, because this engine has like really low miles, like under 100,000 miles on the engine. The AC is perfect. The case swapping it would be great, which could be in the future, but for right now, I at least want to enjoy it as it is stock because it's so fun stock. Anyway, so not to sound like a salad, let us begin. Ta-da! So, just wait longer. I think we should drain the transmission fluid now. That's called good engineering right there. Look at that. Just, that's what you want. All right, so this mount is clearly awesome. Oh, watch out now. She wild. All right, fast forward. We've got everything underneath just about unbolted, axles, all that stuff. Rear motor mount unbolted. It's kind of a pain to get these, but remove the air box, battery tray. So the only thing left to really do is remove this engine mount and get the transmission off. Okay, so we have a table jack underneath the transmission. If you can see that, we've lowered it down onto that. In amazing form and fashion, whoever worked on this car before, your mom's a hoe. Finally got the transmission out, but it was an absolute nightmare because normally you drop the subframe out of here, and I was trying not to, but at one point I was like, well, I gotta drop the subframe. It's fine, let's just do it. The bolts, whoever put this thing together or put this engine in, put all the bolts in so unbelievably tight that a few of them are cross-threaded. They're very difficult to get out. I'm a little sketched out about these bolts right here on the subframe because they're so tight they don't want to come out, and you know, this little box in frame here, I don't want to rip that nut out. So yeah, we're gonna have to reconvene about what to do. But also, we've got to see what our problem is with this bad boy. Question is it the throw-up bearing or the main? I mean, that doesn't sound good. I think that's what our problem really is though. So I think that's the sound we're hearing when we drive. So we had to kind of knock this. It's come out, so it should, I think. Oh, that's why. Gotta make sure it's in neutral. There we go. Just like a K-series. Now we can pull these two detents out, which are 12 millimeter. There are two ball bearings in there that we have to pull out. So now we're going to turn this transmission up on its side. Okay, see, we caught the ball with the magnet. Take all the 12s out. Now we need to loosen this big square nut. You can see that this is actually set up like a B series. Now we should spread these two clips apart. You should hear a click. There it is. So it just dropped. Now we should be able to get the casing off. Actually, not too bad. Almost there. And we can see now that we got a little crack here. We can kind of, now this is the bottom. You don't really want to mess this up and start shoving stuff in here like this. All right, we got this thing finally split. This actually locked back into place, but we had to spread it while trying. There we go. It's pretty clean in here. So we got a 10 mil. We're gonna go ahead and pull these two off, which is the reverse gear. Together, put in the box. We got these two right here, 10 millimeters. Pick them all up. So we've got our gear set over here. This thing is really bad, fighting spinning. So now we have to turn it on its side and knock it out from the other side. Now the diff should be able to grab it like this and lift straight out. Okay, so we're gonna use this here and we're gonna put this in here and actually kind of lean it. And I'm on the bearing, push really hard and lean, and there we go. And there it is. So there's our terrible bearing, which is done. It was in there like that, but I think they're supposed to go like that. I could be wrong. I'm gonna check the manual. But here's our new part number. And we're gonna consult the manual real quick. So we're gonna put the new bearing in. We're gonna use the old bearing, the hard. Okay, let's go. Okay, and we're in there, like swimwear. Got the bearing in. We're gonna take our diff, try to set it in there as straight as possible. There it goes. We've also cleaned up the case and the magnet that's usually here. We're not gonna go into a whole rebuild. This thing shifted nice. We're not gonna go and do anything with this stuff. So now we gotta pick all of this stuff up at once and drop it in. So we've got all these pieces lined up here. We're gonna pick them all up. There we go, all at once. Now we gotta put our other pieces in and we're good to go. Before you put everything back together, make sure everything is back in neutral. Now here, we've got these things. These are orientated some way to line up with the case. I took a photo of these. We're gonna look at the photo and then set it correctly so that I know it's correct. We'll be right back. See. This little tab gets orientated this way. It's like right next to this shift fork. Okay, now we have to Honda bond it. We've already cleaned it. And then set the case down. I put way too much on here. Okay, so I've got this piece spread open. I should be able to push the case down and it stay open. Okay, see how it's open? I'll bring the camera down here. Right in here is a little nut, and this is what we're gonna do. Back the camera a little bit. Here we go, ready? Well, I thought I was ready. Ta-da! Now we can put the bolts in. Okay, so this is where everyone gets messed up. This is the snap ring. This is what you have to do as you close the case. You need to spread this open, push the case down a little bit further, and then as you saw, you will lift this piece up here. And then as far as this end cap, you do not need to put RTV on it. There's no need to. Now, if you don't want this thing to leak fluid, I highly suggest you let this sit overnight or for 24 hours if you can, 10 hours. Give it some time to kind of cure. For extra clean look, you can kind of wait for it to dry and then go and wipe off the excess, but just wait a little bit till it starts to cure before you wipe or it'll kind of be messy. So that's what I like to do, is I like to let it dry and then go back and wipe off the excess so it's a nice clean, you know, finish around. We probably will clean this off with a pressure wash before we put it back in. Before putting the shift selector in, you want to go and make sure all these are in neutral and lined up, nice and flat, like that, or you're going to have some problems. Now that we have closed the case, we want to double check that it spins. Sometimes you'll be locked up if these are not aligned and it's selecting 2 gears at once. All lined up, you want to inspect this piece right here on the selector. So make sure everything looks good there, because that's the piece that selects each gear. We're going to drop that in. It's going to wiggle a little bit. Okay. Now we're going to put our 10mm bolts in. We're going to get these first 3 in before we get the last one in. Have to select a gear. Okay, last step, ball bearing here, and then you can upgrade to Hybrid Racing's T10 springs if you would like. Into here, which is so hard to see. There you go. And then again, spring in there. Reverse, 5th, we're good. Much better. So the last step we need to do is put a new throwout bearing. We're gonna go get one tomorrow, but we gotta pop this out, clean all this off, and make sure all this stuff is greased. If you decide to pressure wash all of this, make sure you cover this up and do not let any water get in there or it'll wash out the bearing. Not sponsored. Tall Pines, heavy duty, high temp grease. It's not expensive. It's the best thing you could ever have. That black AutoZone Valvoline stuff really isn't gonna do much on these. I've used that and it'll go bad pretty quickly. We're going to pressure wash this dirty bad boy. I'm not gonna sit here and film it. Obviously we're going to pressure wash it. Clearly don't get water inside it, whether that's through the axle seals or through the input shaft, because it can give you a lot of bearing noises. So we're just going to try to get this bad boy clean. So I'll be back in a minute when I'm done. And while I'm going to be doing that, I'm going to be using my sweet Giraffe Tools pressure washer. Highly recommend. All right, in a decision that I regret from the beginning, and anybody who has probably worked on these before is like, what are you doing? You're probably stupid. I decided to go ahead and drop the subframe because it's just going to be easier to get the transmission in and then put the subframe back together. It's just the way that these cars are designed. I got the engine all pressure washed. It looks a little bit better. It's not great. The aluminum is just stained. With that being said, this kicked my ass, and now I know better next time. So it's probably a good thing we did this because, you know, just the bolts, you know, they get rusted in place over time, and it's good to just take them out every once in a while. So I got them out, Everything's looking good so far. All right, we got the transmission back in. Okay. And now what we're going to do is install our new side mount. Goes like this. So we have all this put in here. We're going to go ahead and reassemble as much as possible because we've got a lot of work to do before we put the subframe back in, and then we should be able to check it and make sure it's good. All right, back at it another day. Got the new mount here installed. Got the transmission in, all that stuff. Now we need to put the subframe in, and we've already got the new mount installed onto the subframe here. So next thing we're gonna do is roll the subframe in, lower the car down, put the subframe in. We're just gonna kind of clean these threads and run them out and make sure all the bolts and everything are nice and clean before we do that real quick. Okay, FIT has been put back together and on the ground. Just about got everything situated, got the fluid in the trans. It's all hooked up, axles in, subframe in, all that stuff. Anyway, so about to put the airbox in. All the mounts were pretty much destroyed. So this should feel a lot better, and hopefully the input shaft bearing noise is gone. I couldn't get it on camera. I actually might have one clip. But I'm about to throw the airbox in and see if this thing is good to go. Okay, so what did we do to the FIT? We replaced the input shaft bearing in the transmission and also the throw-out bearing, as well as the engine mounts, and it is driving 10 times better. I thought about driving it around and getting some footage of that, but you really can't hear because it's just too much wind noise and stuff, and it's kind of a subtle noise that is really difficult to pick up on camera, but it's driving 10,000 times better, and the noise is no longer there in the transmission. So in the next video, I'm going to be deleting the stupid clutch delay valve with the kit from JB Tuned. So stay tuned for that one. That'll be a nice quick little in and out video. So anyway, that wraps up this video. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Click like and subscribe and all that stuff. I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.